Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel, Growing Orchids in Jamaica. If you want to see more on how I grow orchids in Jamaica, please subscribe to my channel. Well, today I am on another doctor's visit where I am in St. Anne at a friend's home. If you want to see more of what my friend has in her garden, just stay tuned. Here, she has a very spectacular orchid garden. In her garden, she has many sections. Now, one section of her garden has dendrobium orchids, a mixture of orchids really. It has phalaenopsis orchids, dendrobium orchids, tulumnia, catletonia. Now, I will be highlighting her garden to show you just how she grows her orchids in her garden. Now, her dendrobium orchids are so huge and so tall. Just look at how tall and how gorgeous they are, and they bloom practically all year round. And believe me, they are just healthy, they are just stunning. These are her, they look like catletonia, which is a cross between the cattleya and the Broughtonia. And she has a huge pot of this, and believe me, it is just such a splendid plant. It has on 5 spikes, and it is just gorgeous. It is potless, it is just healthy. And here is another one of the catletonia, and it is just so beautiful. Look at that close up. Isn't it spectacular, guys? Very spectacular. These are some other dendrobium orchids that she has, and some of them are just so tall, and the canes are just huge. Look at them. She has them in some large pots. Even when she has them in small pots, what she does, she'll drop them into larger pots, and they are just so huge. Look at this one, and they bloom profusely. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? Wow, whatever she is doing, she will have to share some of her secrets with us. Right. And this section, she has them under 50% shade mesh. Because in St. Anne, it is really very hot, and because it is so hot, there are some things that she will have to do differently in terms of how she manages them. I'm now going to introduce you to her Vanda bed. Her Vanda orchids. The truth about it, Vanda orchids does very well in Jamaica, and a number of persons tend to grow them in beds. And she doesn't sell. Now, the parish of St. Anne is actually a very hot parish, which sees temperature ranging from about 74 degrees Fahrenheit to a high of 89 degrees Fahrenheit. Rarely it goes below to 71 thereabout or above 91. And of course, why is this important? It is important for us to understand the condition under which she grows her orchids, because not everything that she does will work for all of us, because it depends on where we are, what climatic condition our orchids are exposed to in comparison to hers. Now she is just about 35 meters or little above 100 feet above sea level, unlike the area that I live in, because where I live it's very high above sea level compared to where she is. So she's almost at sea level, if you would have realized. Now look at her vanda beds. They grow so tall, they are just so healthy, and the way she displays them, they put on such a splendid show. Look at the layout, just look at how beautiful they are. Right here, there are basically two sections in this area of her vanda bed. Now, if you would have noticed that she split it in two, and therefore you can actually walk in between, so you can maneuver to take care of the plants. She takes pride in her garden, and therefore her orchid routine requires daily maintenance. I can tell you that much. She uses river or rainwater to water her plants. And believe me guys, there is no river very close to her home. And so what she does, she hires transportation to collect the water from the river, especially whenever rainfall is very low. That speaks to dedication and the love of what she does. She waters her vandas daily, and I tell you, that is a mammoth task, because when you look at the amount that she has there, to water them every single day, that is dedication. For her dendrobiums, if you would have noticed here, she has some dendrobiums on the other side of her driveway, and they are in some huge clay pots, and because of that, the specimen, they are just so big and so prolific. Look at these, how tall they are, and they are in full sun. And remember, St. Anne is a very warm parish, and because of that, she acclimatizes them to be in the full sun. And look at them, how beautiful they are. They are just big, they are just blooming, they are just beautiful. And what is amazing is how she has them in the full sun. And of course, as a part of her maintenance, she sprays them for insects, fungus, as the need require. Once she realizes that something is happening, then she will do a cocktail mix and spray. However, what she does a protective spraying. So she will spray them at least once per week, and when something is wrong. And she also fertilizes them weekly. Weak mixture, and we do that weekly. And that is what she does. And guys, believe me, she does all this all by herself. She waters them, she fertilizes them, she sprays them, and she does it all by herself. Isn't that amazing? Really amazing. This is another beautiful garden in my series, The Doctor's Visit. I have learned so much throughout my doctor's visit, because what it tells me is that each garden comes with its own uniqueness. And of course, this garden is by no means, while I am highlighting majority of her blooms, you actually heard just some of what she does to maintain such a beautiful garden. Her medium for her dendrobium is basically the same thing that most of us use, gravel, and perhaps you can add a little charcoal to it. And that's the same medium she uses for her Vanda orchids. However, the key is in the frequency of watering, the frequency of feeding, and the frequency of spraying to get rid of diseases and so forth. Look at that. Isn't that awesome? That is such a beautiful garden right there. And they are just nicely laid out and putting on this stunning show. It's really amazing. She has some unique specimen here as well. Look at this one here. Isn't that a beauty? It looks like a cross with the ascocentrum. Really beautiful. And she uses wood to stake them. So that is something too that is common with us here in Jamaica. But while we use the wooden posts to stake them, after a while we realize that the stake usually rot, and because of that you have to change them quite frequently. And that is why in my last video I was happy to introduce to you the use of the mesh wire to stake the plants. Look at this one, how tall it is, and it is just putting on that stunning show even at that height. Oh, gorgeous. Look at the mixture. She has a mixture of colors. She has from the yellows, the orange, the red, the pink, the purple, and the blues. So beautiful, so beautiful. Now in this part of the island, because the rainfall is not as frequent as in the section that I am from, up in the hills, what we realize that they do not encounter a lot of the problem of loss of the bottom leaves when compared to us growing in the hilly terrain of the island. So her plants, they will grow very tall, but while they are growing, they are also not losing any of the bottom leaves. That losing the bottom leaves though can be attributed to lack of watering as well, or to some disease, but she really takes care of her plants. And if you notice, she's not losing any of her bottom leaves right here. Such a beauty, such a splendid garden. She really takes pride, and she is an avid collector. And once she gets her specimen, whatever it is that she does to them, I tell you, they reward her immensely. You can see that based on what is happening here. Again, these are her dendrobiums, and she had a mango tree. Well, the mango tree is still there, but she trimmed it to remove the filtered light, so they are really in the full sun. And when you look at them, they are still green, they are just the right color, and they are just putting on, sending out some really nice bloom. This one is a twisted dendrobium, and just look at it, just look at it. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up, and so you never miss another video, please subscribe to my channel and As we say in Jamaica, just follow back on me. This is the Orchid Doc, and I am growing orchids in Jamaica.